Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smoking Underground Live.
Right.
Once more, and not with the background of my truck as one of my cameras. We are joined today by myself, by Gary, and John, who is actually behind the camera.
There's John.
Over here,
Yeah, you
John,
can't really see him.
do you have a camera?
I do not have a
You don't? You need one.
He the John can.
And we were supposed to, you may not be able to see it, but there it goes.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be joined by a rep, but you know, sometimes you get these scenarios where you schedule with somebody multiple times and then he just ate too many pitted prunes, so he never shows up.
Yeah, what happens? Yeah.
But today we are joined by the amazing Carson, the rep for Ashton. Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to be here, guys.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here as well, since we got stood up somewhere in the past by someone else. So we're glad you could literally step up and man up and rep up. Thank you.
And we're not bitter about it.
Not at all.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate you guys having me.
If I may, please, I have got to step out and say this. We're pretty much in this particular part here with Cigars and More, Vitola, so on, so on, so on. We're the biggest. If you will, retail outlet in Alabama when it comes to cigars. We are a factory of reps,
That's
if you
for
will.
Sure. 100.
So yeah, we now own the Oliva rep,
Oliva rep.
Altadus rep,
I'll own it.
Christoph rep.
Previous McAuliffe rep.
Yeah, previous McAllen rep.
We can go 6 or 7.
All titles.
Yeah, and now we have the Ashton rep. So if you really are interested in probably pursuing that, we're taking applications.
They have a forming system for reps.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much. Yeah.
It really comes down to
Molding.
the culture that we develop here at Cigars and More.
Thank you,
Vitola.
Devin. Very good.
And it's brothers and sisters of the leaf. And
Very good.
we just love it. The passion behind it and everything that goes along with it.
Outstanding.
Hence the reason this wonderful human being is here
It
today.
really,
Right
and
there.
this is going to be in defense of Harris a little bit. We might not make a ton of money here, but if you really want to move up in the cigar world, this is a place to be.
This is the boot
It's
camp.
the
Yeah.
place to be. That's
This
what
is it.
I started in the cigar world with Cigars and More, and learned mostly everything I know about cigars. And here I am now as the Ashton cigar rep, one of the staples in the cigar world.
I agree.
Yeah. Ashton, I've always said that they're right there at the top, and I've described you guys as far as on a level of dignitary, if you will, is something that the dignitary smokes. So it's up at the top level, you know, and not only do they not do cigars, they do cigars, but they do humidors and ashtrays and so on and so on.
Ashtrays,
so yeah.
lighters, cutters,
Right.
beautiful T-shirts like the one I have on
There you
today.
go.
No, it's
Yeah,
great.
there you are. Yeah.
So today on the
Mhm.
show, we are going to be smoking. It's actually, strangely enough, a cigar from Ashton. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, cigar from Ashton.
That's right.
This-
La Roma de Cuba.
Yeah.
the La Roma de Cuba, Connecticut.
Mm.
This is the new, I introduced it wrong, the new La Roma de Cuba,
Okay.
Connecticut. This cigar was released in June of 2023.
Good.
Noise.
Oh, wow. Brand new then.
Oh,
Wow.
brand spanking new. Brand
Dang.
spanking new. Previously, the La Roma de Cuba baseline was the Maduro with the Connecticut broadleaf.
Mm.
This is the wrapper leaf on this one is the Connecticut shade, Ecuadorian Connecticut shade. Yeah. And it's on top of a Nicaraguan filler and binder. The same Nicaraguan filler and binder blend as the Maduro version.
Good.
Okay. I like it. Now, I got to go into a little bit of detail because I'm all about the art.
Yes, he is.
I am all about the
Hey.
band, and this one
Yeah.
is absolutely gorgeous. But
It
before
is.
I go into detail, I have to ask you, have they changed the art somewhat on the band compared to the old ones?
The only thing that has changed on the band is the color of her dress.
Is that right?
How
So
about
if you
that?
guys look at any of the La Aroma de Cuba lines, from the Mil Mor to the Reserva to the Passion, you will see that the color of her dress changes. In addition to some of the coloring on the band,
Right.
and some of them have like a second band, like for the Mil Mor, for example.
Right.
But her dress changes color depending on the cigar.
I like it. I like it.
love that.
You got some kind of a brushed gold on there, some
love
maroon
that,
colors, some lighter mocha browns, and the typical colors that you see from La Roma de Cuba. And it's a piece of artwork.
Shout out to our art department, man.
Yeah,
They are
big time.
amazing. If
Yeah.
you guys follow Ashton on
Mhm.
like Instagram or anything like that, our art department always posting like amazing pictures.
Yeah.
They help me with my content on all my social medias because I just steal their picture, post it on my page.
There you go. That's how you do
it.
But excellent. Our art department is amazing.
Yeah,
We
they
probably
are.
got some of the best bands, and I know you can't smoke the band, people, but we probably got some of the best bands in the cigar world.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I'll
I would
agree.
agree.
In addition to
Really.
the best cigars, some of the best cigars in the cigar world as well.
Well, so there's also another criteria that I judge cigar bands with. Look at this guy using a pair of scissors, cigar scissors. I love it. I'm doing a wide mouth punch on mine. What'd you do, Gary?
I did a fingernail cut on mine.
Okay, was not expecting that, Gary.
Old classic fingernail.
I did the Lido Gomez cut.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So one of the things which I'll get into later is how well the band is actually sealed on the cigar,
Yes.
whether it's too much or too little. Because one of the things that really bugs me about certain cigars is you peel them off and it rips the wrap right
Oh
out.
yeah.
There's an art to it. There's literally an art to putting the band on there perfectly so it doesn't move around too much, so it doesn't go anywhere, so it stays.
Right.
And this one slides just enough, but it's still firmly in place, so it's not going to slip out of my hand.
Right.
I'm loving it.
Beautiful.
Every minute of it.
Beautiful,
So I think
beautiful.
it's time to light this thing.
Let's do. I wish I had some Spanish cedar because this would be great.
Will be great. With some
Oh my
Spanish cigars.
God.
Some-
Ecuador and Connecticut, for some reason, has a Spanish cedar pop to it. And it would be great if I had some Spanish cedar light right there, and off John goes.
There
I
he
think
goes to
he's,
get it.
I think he's.
We always
he's-
recommend doing that
he's
as
reaching in the garbage can to get some Spanish cedar.
Garbage can.
Nice.
Listen to you
That's
guys.
awesome.
Man, I
Thank you,
wish I
buddy.
would have waited for the Spanish cedar. But,
Well, I saw you do that. I said,
well, I did
man,
it with the match. I live with the
Spanish
match,
cedar.
and a lot of these matches are made with some of the same wood. Sometimes,
Mhm, mhm.
Right. So what I like to do is I do the toast with a normal lighter,
Mhm.
and I just smell it. I just like to take that first hit, to
Mhm.
see where it's at, what's going with it.
And I like doing a little bit of a, if you will,
Deep nose.
yeah, deep nose, if you will. I call it putting the nose hair in the end. So it's boy, that's nice. That's got a great aroma to it.
It does.
It's smooth.
Even the
kind
toasted
of like
version.
a floral.
Yeah.
It gives out like
Oh.
a floral aroma.
How coincidence?
Oh.
La aroma. Yeah.
La aroma.
Oh, now I get it.
Oh,
Thanks,
see,
Gary.
There
Thanks,
you go.
yeah.
There you are.
Jerk turkey.
I know, right? But yeah, great aroma to it though.
And this is one of those Connecticut's you can smoke any time of the day. A lot of people like to save their Connecticut smokes for top of the morning.
Right.
Usually, like something like the Ashton Classic is usually a milder Connecticut that's really good first thing in the morning. Of course, I've even smoked that one any time of the day, but really this one, this is a any occasion, any time of the day cigar because it's not your mildest version of a Connecticut. It has a little, just a tad bit punch to it, a little light punch. Not a Mike Tyson punch, but more like a Floyd Mayweather punch.
There you go.
Because he don't really knock people out. He just-
Just beats them to death. That's right.
What I love about doing cedar, no matter what cigar it is, it automatically adds this bit of spice right on the tip of the tongue as soon as you do it.
Mm-hmm.
While you guys are all lighting, I knew we were having Carson on tonight, and I need a cigar appreciate. And I don't know what he's going to give us, so I'm checking out what we have in inventory here at the shop. I haven't seen that La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut. We just did a show on this. What makes you choose a cigar?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, that's a little bit different. the other line is pretty good. So I'm almost done with my La Aroma Tequila because I actually started mine.
There
an
you
hour
go.
ago.
There you go.
And it was just purely coincidence. He goes, "We're going to try this one tonight," and I might interject some flavors and some opinions as we go along, but I'm ahead of everybody.
I got a good idea. After you finish with that one, fire up that VSG you got.
Look at him go.
There you go.
As I said in the intro, that Carson stopped by and kind of put a gun to my head. He bribed me with a couple cigars, cigars, and I'm going to be on your show.
Yeah.
So, as we typically do, we like to do pairings. Now, this pairing in particular, I have been not told about whatsoever, and I have a feeling I'm not going to guess it, but I'm looking forward to trying it. And this pairing, brought to you by Whiskey Tobacco Fellowship, is about to happen. So, anything I need to take note of before I try this out?
You want to be careful sponsoring this drink.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right.
I selected this pairing because I felt it was very, very necessary for the cigar.
Okay.
A lot of times people pair Connecticut's with coffee.
Right.
They pair Connecticut's with a bourbon or a scotch.
Right.
We went with something a little different.
Okay.
So not going to give it away.
Well, I know it's a rum,
We know it's a rum.
but that's about it. Okay.
And one of the reasons why I went with a rum, of course, I've smoked this cigar with rum before, and the pairing was very good. But, in Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, places where Cuba, rum is like the first spirit.
Right.
Of course, whiskey or bourbon is like the spirit of America.
Yep.
But rum is their first spirit. So they drink a lot of rum with their cigars. So it's easy to pair a rum with a cigar, especially a Nicaraguan blend.
Yeah.
Something that's got some earthy, some sweet notes, something like that. And you got some earthy, sweet notes that come off the rum as well. Makes for a perfect marriage, in my opinion.
Very nice. It's beautiful. It's got that nice look to it, the whole thing. I can't wait any longer. You've been talking about it the whole time.
What's the nose like? What do you think there on that?
It's a little harsher than I was expecting from a rum, like the bite, which I'm liking because I like that.
Okay.
Because so for me, rums I like smooth. I also like stuff with bites, but my friend Josh has been getting me more into ryes in the past couple of years because I used to hate them. Which we do have a
We got
studio audience here.
I used to hate rye, and now I'm starting to lean more to the rye.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was the Basil Hayden that got me.
The dark rye,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. All right, I gotta try this.
Go with it. See what happens.
The nose, you know what the nose reminded me of? Y'all remember those Smarties, those candies that come in the little pack?
Yeah.
That's what the nose reminded me of. Those Smarties.
Wow. That's nice.
Well, I'm gonna immediately say it's not Bombay or anything like that.
No, that's
Because
just artificially sweet.
Exactly. It's got that banana flavor, and I'm just not a
Really?
huge fan of that. I don't know what it is, but I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's definitely a great one. That's
a good answer.
That's better than my Kirkland signature. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So what am I drinking here, Carson?
You want to know now? We revealing now?
We'll wait. Okay.
We'll wait.
Pull the rug.
I like it. Keep me in suspense. I'm the only one in the room that doesn't know
And
it.
we let Carson decide drink, everything, and whether or not Devin was even going to get a cube in his.
That's true. I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah, I wanted to go neat. I didn't want to water it down. I wanted us to get the full experience of it.
I like it.
Yeah, I like to drink my spirits neat. Except, when you get into like the barrel strengths, cash strengths and stuff, maybe a big cube, to change the temp, but like a good rum, something that's low proof. Hey, let's go for it.
This is beautiful. This is a wonderful pairing with it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Big old cheers right there for everybody out there in the world.
Here you go, right here.
A water cheers. Clink,
Cheers.
clink, clink,
Cheers.
clink.
Salute.
Salute. Now, in talking about this particular cigar here, Now, is this the blend that the Garcias were involved in here?
Yes.
Am I right? Both
Yes.
both Jaime and Jose were within the blend of this particular stick here, and you can sort of tell it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
And this cigar is also made at the My Father factory in Nicaragua.
Gotcha.
And the construction on it is exceptional.
It really is.
Okay, I'm about half an inch in. That ash is just holding, stacking dimes, as they say.
Yes,
Nice,
indeed.
nice, perfect pattern on it. The one thing that I immediately noticed was how many caps are on it.
Yeah.
Double
cap.
That's the thing I noticed hardcore.
Double cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better the lines, the better. And it's a good test is when I do my wide mouth punch, is it gonna pop off?
Yeah.
And it hasn't. Like it hadn't broke or anything. It's perfect.
And that's a testament to how the cigars are kept. One, at Cigars and More. I'm willing to go out on the limb or stand out on the ledge and say that you can walk into any of their humidors, from Trustful, Vitola, Tuscaloosa, Vitola, Mountain Brook, Cigars and More 280, Cigars and More, Patton Creek, and the humidor, the humidity on the humidors and how the cigars are kept are going to be amazing. You're not going to get nothing dried out or this time of year overly humidified.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
One hundo.
Yeah. So what we believe in here is actually when you start talking sort of a higher humidity in a commercial humidor, you're talking aging type, and it can sort of dampen a little bit of the cigar sometime and make it not, make relightable, that type of stuff there. But what we do here is we keep our humidification here smokable. So
It's smoking.
yeah. So you can literally take it home, you can light it, you can smoke it, you can enjoy it, and it will burn. So yeah, and that's what we enjoy here and concentrate on as well. So how's things been going in the Ashton world? Everything going good? You went to PCA this year?
I did not go to PCA this year. We
All
did
right.
have representation at PCA. We had a great medium-sized booth. I know they judged the booths last year. We won an award for medium-sized booth.
Right.
This year, I don't know the results of it yet.
Right.
To see if we were even in the contest or if they did a contest.
Right.
But our booths are always looking amazing. You guys can check out the PCA highlights, of course, on the internet somewhere, and see our lovely booth. We I got to see it just via the internet. We highlighted this cigar. We highlighted some of our top sellers, some of our San Cristobal stuff. We highlighted some of our the ESG, some of our other lines in the La Aroma de Cuba too. It was just beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Real beautiful. I've heard nothing but good things.
Did you guys introduce anything new, or are you guys just kind of
Nothing new because this cigar came out a month in advance. So if to say we did introduce something new, it would have been the La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut. But this came out June 1st was when this cigar started shipping.
And it's very budget friendly.
It really is.
Very budget friendly.
It's it's $9 price point for the Toro that you got.
Yeah, $9 price point for the Toro. You're in that range out of all the sizes between $650 as high as $975, depending on where you're at and depending on the taxes of your city. It comes in the same sizes as the baseline. The world-renowned El Jefe, the Connecticut's in the El Jefe, the Immensa, which is the 60 ring gauge, the Robusto. It has a Corona size, a Churchill size, and a Rothschild size also.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And a Rothschild size nowadays, you don't hear it.
No, I don't.
just
You don't hear them that often.
Yeah, they're too close to a nub.
Right.
So you really don't hear of a Rothschild size, which is good that you do have that, because a Connecticut, this right here in a Rothschild would just, I bet that's good.
Man, the Rothschild, my favorite way to smoke it is the Corona.
Oh,
It's my favorite way to smoke.
Certainly.
The first time I
I
ever
do
smoked
that.
it was the Toro size, which is called the Monarch.
Right.
And then I was like, I gotta smoke this in a Corona.
Yeah.
I smoked it in a Corona. I was like, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm a real big Corona guy. That's kind of my go-to size right
Yeah.
now. And I like the Rothschilds for some reason. I'm liking the smaller cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, it's nice to see. I mean, you guys are all over the board price-wise, from like you said, $6 to your Ashton stuff can get up to pushing 20.
Uh-huh.
And it's nice to see that you guys went to PCA and introduced a cigar in what I think is the sweet point and the hard to hit point right now in the $8 to $11 range, because cigars gotten expensive and we got to get the consumer used to all this, inflation. And fortunately with cigars, it's not shrinkflation. You might go down in your size, but it's it's just really nice to see.
Yeah, because a lot of PCA, the cigars that you see introduced at PCA are usually expensive stuff.
Well, that seemed to be the bulk because of the boom we just went through. Everybody prepped thinking, and unfortunately, we're exiting this boom. And you guys hit a sweet point, and that was a fabulous cigar. I did finish it. I chose it because it's a new one. It's mild. I don't know what you're going to bring, and I didn't want to destroy whatever you would bring. Smoke a VSG, and then you hand me that cigar.
Yes.
So I've done it right. Now I'm into your VSG, and it's just been a good experience overall. I don't go to Ashton's regularly, but when I do enjoy them.
Yes, Ashton's are very enjoyable. Speaking of Ashton's, glad you asked. Cigar Aficionado just recently put out a list. This was a list that was, the dates were between April and June of cigars they smoked for the spring.
Okay.
And they made like a top 10 list of cigars are the best that they smoked in that time frame. Ashton had 2 cigars that made that list. The second cigar on the list was, you guessed it, a La Aroma de Cuba. It was the La Aroma de Cuba Mia More in the Bellicosa.
The blue label.
Fact check me, everybody, but I think this cigar was the number 2 cigar on Cigar Aficionado 2011.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
That's a great cigar. It also was a top 5 list that listed top Robustos.
Yeah.
La Aroma de Cuba Mia More was one of the top Robustos in the top 5 list.
Good.
But you know what I like about that too is that blue on there. It's catching. It
Beautiful.
just pops right
It's
there.
a beautiful band.
Looking through the humidor and you'll stop on it because it's not quite a baby blue, but it's not a sky. It's like right in between.
Yeah,
Like
beautiful
a
band.
almost. It's a good looking color.
I would even say the band is even more intricate than the one we're smoking right now.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful band. Then it's got a second band on there, so that's 2 bands. And the bottom part says Mia More, and then the other one is just traditional, similar to what we're smoking now.
Right.
But in blue, and she has a different color dress on. I think that's like a navy blue dress.
Good night.
Versus the maroon dress on this one.
So I got a question for you about the things on there. Any idea what obviously the anchor and the other symbol on the side?
Glad you asked, because I don't know the answer to that. But we will find out the answer for that.
Yeah,
and sure I will get that information to you guys by the next episode.
There you go.
Does the lady represent something? I thought she did. I thought there was behind her, other than she has an immense wardrobe.
Ashton created the La Aroma de Cuba line as a second expression of the Ashton brand. It was La Aroma de Cuba was a brand in Cuba years ago that Ashton obtained that name from that family. They kept the bands very similar, or the artwork very similar to the original artwork.
Kind of pay homage to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the kind of tradition you see in almost every cigar company is they just want to make sure you know how old it is, how much craft, how much work, because there's that saying, which most people take for granted, is there's probably been 100 people plus who have touched this cigar just to get it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got also homage to the homeland too, as well, as well. So, which is what every targeted marketing does when it comes to cigar, and you guys have done primo on that, I've got to say.
Now, I will say I have done a few retro hails on this, and sometimes you can have trouble with darker cigars because they will
burn
take your nose
out
and take it away. This one has a very light burn on it that's just, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And I highly encourage you to try to do that. if you can, because you get different flavor notes out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole new experience when you retrohale. If you guys can retrohale,
It
whole
took
new
me
experience.
years, Carson,
Uh-huh.
years to learn how to do that.
Well, I in my younger years, there was other smoking involved, the devil's lettuce, and and retrohaling was a thing when you're smoking the devil's lettuce. So I just kind of took that into the cigar world with me, and
Oh, that's nice.
retrohaling came easy, man. That is a nutty retrohale.
It is.
That is
It
a
really
very
is.
nutty
Yeah.
retrohale. It's kind of
Yeah.
like I oftentimes hate getting into like flavor notes because it's kind of misunderstood sometimes
You're
by
right.
a novice. But like cashews,
Cashew,
Yeah.
almonds.
Absolutely.
yeah, and not that it's flavored
Right.
infused, but you can
Right.
really just pick up that cashew flavor
Yeah.
note on that retrohale.
100%.
They are. And I'll tell you another thing I'm very surprised with as well, too, that the Garcia family, which is behind this, the price point that this thing goes with and the Garcia family and behind that, I'm very surprised in that.
Yeah.
Of the kind of quality as well as cigar it's come out to be and the kind of price point it is. I'm very surprised in that.
Yeah, this is cigar. We got many cigars in our lineup that's priced very friendly that I always say they smoke above their weight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Meaning that cigar can probably have a price tag of what it's a higher price tag
Yeah.
versus what it's selling for because of how well it's smoked.
Right.
Because man, I can compare this to Garcia. That's a $20 cigar.
Yeah.
$20-$30 cigar. I
Yeah,
can compare
right.
it to that. I can compare this cigar to our $15 Ashton Classic.
Yes, sir.
I can compare this cigar to our $20-$30 ESG,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
and it's gonna smoke in that same weight class.
And that's really what everybody's looking for nowadays is I have found working at Trustville is they want that price, that perfect price range. And typically the Goldilocks zone is somewhere in that $10 range. But exactly like you said, you could charge $20 for this, but they don't.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's very odd that when you get a cigar of this quality right there that you can stack that up against that. That's a rarity. I have to give you kudos on something though. We're going to go to the other end of the spectrum here, and that is that I've gone to more than a couple of PCAs, and I have got to say when let me sort of enlighten you a little bit. What happens in the PCAs? The reps are at the PCAs, and of course, what the company does is basically the retailers go to the PCA and they check out all the new stuff and everything. But it is also the reps' way or the company's way to thank the retailers for coming to the PCA, buying and indulging actually in the sale of all cigars. So in doing that, what they do is they present you with dinner and drinks and stuff like that, which is great. And I have to say, Ashton knows how to do it. They are the most impressive when it comes to that. Now, I hesitate this because I went to the one in NOLA. I went to one in New Orleans, and actually two of them in New Orleans. And both times, I've been knocked off my feet, man. You guys do just the best when it comes to appreciating the retailers and what they do, and just really pulling out all the stops and saying thank you, man.
Right.
That is incredible. I love what you guys do. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had a warehouse. It was basically just an old warehouse, and outside of it's very deceiving, very almost like a rustic metal building until you get inside, and then it was off the wall. I'm telling you, you guys know how to do your stuff, dude. The food, I think the food was catered by Emerald at that time. And man, it was off the wall. Me and Harris looking at each other going, you gonna eat yours? I'm gonna take a picture of mine.
Hey,
Foodies unite.
thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate to piggyback on that.
Wow.
If you guys are ever in Philadelphia, if you happen to just travel to Philadelphia,
Yeah.
of course, that's the home of Ashton. That's the
Right.
headquarters. The Ashton Cigar Bar is downtown Philadelphia
Really?
on Walnut Street.
Is that right? Okay.
This is probably in my travels, and I've been a lot of places. In every city I go to, I try to visit as many cigar shops as I can. This is not even a biased comment because I work for the company. But the Ashton Cigar Bar, the best way to describe it is one of the sexiest places on the planet.
Nice.
All right.
It
Okay.
is a sexy cigar bar.
All right.
I'm talking about this
Got my
place
attention.
is beautiful.
Oh my.
Beautiful. And glad you asked.
What other cigar do you have for us today?
Because what John is smoking, I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to tie all this together with the Ashton Cigar Bar. What John is smoking is the VSG. That list that I spoke about earlier, the VSG was the second cigar on that list.
Very nice.
The VSG was created in 1999.
Okay.
It's the VSG stands for Virgin Sun Grown. It was the first cigar with like strength.
Yeah.
At that time. Before then, they wasn't making, everything was kind of like mild to medium.
Right.
Of course, now we know we got cigars that are just super strong. That just,
They'll make you
like,
pass
yeah.
out.
You'll smoke the VSG now and you'll be like, oh, that's mild compared to a lot of the stuff that's out
Right.
now. But the reason why I brought that up is because at the Ashton Cigar Bar, they have the original VSG. It's in the illusion side.
Really?
When you see the band, it's going to say Ashton VSG Cabinet. And it's only sold at the Ashton Cigar Bar in Philadelphia.
No kidding.
Sounds like we need to take a trip.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. If you like Snickers, y'all like Snickers candy bar?
Sure.
Oh,
That's what it tastes like when you smoke.
yeah.
Stop
What's
that.
the subtle
Amazing.
difference?
Man.
You know what the minutia that creates the difference between?
The age on it. That's the difference. That's what that age from 1999
Yeah.
up until now. That age on that cigar is just
So it's
over time.
It's a 24-year age cigar.
Yes. Mhm.
Ooh.
And I've been studying a lot of that aging. So
Yeah. So it comes in a cabinet,
Mhm.
like the La Roma de Cuba baseline stuff.
Right.
Comes in that black box.
Yeah.
And that box is considered like a cabinet size too. That's an old Cuban way of packaging cigars in the cabinet. So it comes in the cabinet like that. No cellophane on them.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, the age on it is perfect.
Mm.
Perfect.
Yeah, you'll notice that and of course, and correct me if I'm wrong here, of course, but you'll notice that Ashton actually has the cabinet series.
Yes.
You know, they've got the cabinet series, and what they'll do is they'll take a package, or actually a fume of 50, and they'll take them and they'll stack them in these cedar cabinets, and they're all, and that's how they're aged. And man, you talking about a difference. So what he's talking about here, if you've got a VSG, which is a thicker type cigar,
Mhm.
right there, you draw that out and age that,
Mm.
you might as well spread that on bread, man.
Sounds like I'm
So-
taking a trip to Philadelphia.
Yeah, go to Philadelphia. So the cabinet, since you mentioned the cabinet, the Ashton cabinet, because people always ask me, what's the difference between the Ashton cabinet and the Ashton Classic?
Right.
Both of those are USA Connecticut shade.
Oh.
Different from the La Roma de Cuba Connecticut,
Right.
which is Ecuadorian Connecticut shade. But the cabinet has a minimum of 6 to 7 years age on the
Right.
tobacco in that
Mm.
cigar.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Just elegant,
Right.
just well-rounded, just elegant. Like if you just want to sit back in a cigar bar that's similar to the Ashton Cigar Bar in Philadelphia, or Cigars and More 280,
Right.
and just relax, that cigar right there is just you smoking that cigar, and you kind of get the sense that you done made it.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what, I made it. Yeah. I'm at the top of the mountain now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm at the
100%.
top of the mountain. Then you
Good
get to
point.
imagine, you like, you know what, when I leave from smoking this cigar off and walk outside and get into my Maybach Benz, and then you walk outside and it's just a Hyundai Sonata, but you know, you have that feeling.
Yeah, it's all up here.
You have that feeling
Yeah.
when you're smoking that cigar.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And cigars should create that type of experience.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Agree.
That's right.
That's what the experience should do.
Mhm.
Right. You're right. Yeah, it's that's one thing that I do is you know, of course we've got several folks that go to the Davidoff League over here and they look at the price and they go, and I said, follow me, come over here, and then we'll push them towards the Ashton over there, and then I'll throw a couple of cabinets at them when they do. They come back in and go, oh, do you remember what you got me last time? Yeah,
That Ashton cabinet.
Yeah,
that Ashton cabinet.
man, that stuff's good, dude. Good
I'll have to
stuff.
try one.
Yeah.
How far
Plastic's
you-
good too, but man, that
Yeah.
cabinet's another
The cabinet's
story.
special. How far y'all in? I'm through this first third of this cigar.
I guess I am too. It's about the first third, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Beginning of the second third, I can't talk. The beginning of the second third, I'm picking up a little more spice.
Yeah,
Are y'all
I was
getting
just
a
thinking
little
that
more
too.
spice?
Absolutely, because I've been doing a slight purge on it every single time, and I was thinking maybe I'm just doing it too hot or something, but no, it's not hot. That's
Yeah.
flavor. That's
Yeah.
absolutely.
By all means.
A little more spice, a little more woodiness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. this
Charred
is-
oak.
That charred oak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
almost like a like grilling with oak almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Daddy.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
That's some good stuff right there.
Mhm.
That's some good stuff. I kind of want some brisket now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Maybe some
Talk.
shawarma.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Some shawarma.
there you
Yeah,
go.
some shawarma. Hey,
Shawarma brisket.
that's what I had prior to.
That's right,
Boy,
man. It
right,
looked
right.
good too.
God, that's good stuff. Right
Yeah,
there.
man.
So is there anything else we have to look just a little bit ahead here? And of course, you may not have this information. I don't doubt if you don't. Is there anything ahead that maybe Ashton's working on right now, or perhaps maybe either marketing or blend that they're working on right now for the future, or is everybody hanging on to the government saying, okay, what are they going to do? Actually, Ashton, I would say, is a little bit too big for that. Am I right on that, or is that?
What we
Fair
try to do as a company is kind of stick to what we know and what's always been good.
Gotcha.
We are confident that we've perfected every line, and it's good that we have perfected every line because we can always offer that consistency that way. You can, every time you pick up a La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut, it's going to be the same La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut.
Yeah.
If you pick it up in 2023,
Right.
2025,
Right.
it's going to be the same cigar.
Right.
So just perfecting it. Because prior to this, the last cigar that we came out with about 2 or 3 years ago was the La Aroma de Cuba Passion, and that was the Nicaraguan Puro,
Yeah.
shade grown Nicaraguan Puro
I
on the
love
wrapper
shade.
leaf. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Good stuff.
just staying consistent with what we got to offer. Because as many times as I smoked the VSG, man, I'm like, it's the same cigar
Yeah.
Mhm.
every single time,
Yeah.
and I just do not get tired of that. Now I've been smoking the La Aroma de Cuba, Connecticut like crazy, just about every morning, and I've been back and forth. It's either been this or the cabinet,
Right.
this or the cabinet,
Oh,
this
yeah.
or the cabinet,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just been consistent every time. You know, sometimes you smoke a cigar for the first time, and then you go back and you like, well, it wasn't like the beginning or the first experience,
Right.
but it's like smoking it for the first time every time.
Yeah.
And this pairing, oh my god!
I was just about to say, like, there was something about reaching this part of the cigar and that my palate's finally like fully opened and listening. And I'm just tasting some amazing notes off of this pairing and just took a nice sip, let it sit, and then took some of this. And I'm telling you, oh my goodness, it was amazing.
You wouldn't be offended too much if he dipped his in the rum, dude. Would you?
I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Devin does all this stuff that you're not supposed to do.
I know I seen one time where Arnold Schwarzenegger took the tequila
Yes.
Yep.
and rubbed it
did.
all over this and
Oh
kind
my
of painted
goodness
the cigar
gracious.
with
Yeah,
the
with the
cedar and
tequila.
everything
Yeah,
like that.
Sure did,
And
man.
I was like, nah, I'm a purist when it comes. You know, I like to think of myself as a purist. I like a traditional straight cut.
Yep.
I don't always toast the foot. Y'all probably see me light the cigar with a match, and it was just straight mouth, straight match to it.
Yeah.
I don't always toast the foot like you did, the old finger. I'll take my thumb
That's it.
and that middle finger, and break that cap
Yeah.
off a lot of times.
Yeah.
Soft flame
Yep.
is my preferred way to smoke a cigar.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of folks have to understand as far as the rookies go. What happens is when you start getting on up there and you've done this for so long, it's just I want to smoke.
Yeah.
I just want to smoke.
Just want to smoke.
Yeah.
I'm all about the flavor.
I want to derail you for a second because you brought up Arnie, and I wanted to bring it up on the show the last couple episodes, but never had a chance. Have any of you watched his new show? I can't remember which streaming service it is, but called Fubar.
I think it's Netflix. I think that's the one. Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about that show, unlike any other show on the air right now, he's always got a cigar.
Always.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch it now.
Smoking is so no, we can't do that. We can't show anybody
right.
smoking. And the show, it might be an 8 or a 9 out of a 10. It's not the greatest, but it's just it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger action film.
Is it?
It's got appearances by Tom Arnold. So, but he's always smoking a cigar.
Really?
And I almost have to watch the show just for the fact to support him in
Right.
smoking
Right.
that cigar. I
I
just,
gotta check
I
that
just
out.
wanted to say, if you want to
Yeah.
show some enthusiasm for cigar smoking,
Yeah.
watch the show. Turn it on, let it stream all night. Just
Yeah.
let him get the ratings to see maybe somebody else will smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
There you go.
And watch Dirty Grandpa.
What
Reason why
a name.
I say watch Dirty Grandpa. That's with Robert De Niro.
Yep.
And what's the guy? Zach Efron, a little
Yeah.
short cat.
Oh, okay.
They smoke Ashton Classic Churchills throughout that entire movie.
Throughout the
Is
whole
that
movie.
right?
I watched that
That's
movie
awesome.
2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ashton Classic Churchills through that entire movie. Now I watched that movie again and watched it totally different because now I'm just looking for the cigars every
Yeah.
time.
Right?
And he's smoking
Exactly.
throughout the
Point
movie.
it out.
I heard the story of how he got those cigars.
Oh,
Okay.
So
please share.
glad you asked. So he was, I think that movie, I know that movie was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, or some part of Georgia.
Right.
He went to a tobacco store in Georgia, and the guy that was working there met him, and he just picked up, his favorite cigar to smoke, which is the Ashton Classic Churchill,
Right.
which is one of our best-selling cigars. The Ashton Classic, it is actually number 1 in our company.
Nice.
The Ashton Classic Churchill. He then, before leaving the cigar shop, asked them for 8 boxes. Now, they didn't have 8 boxes of the Classic on hand.
Right.
Should've
Immediately called our warehouse, of course, called our VP of sales, Andy Green, if you're watching. And Andy made sure that they got those cigars.
Wow.
Very nice.
Immediately. The sales rep at the time at that cigar shop called him. The next day had Robert's personal number, called him. Hey, we got your cigars, came and picked them up, and those were the cigars he used to smoke throughout the movie.
That is
So was it De Niro that was was it Ephraim that was smoking it? Is that
De Niro.
Was De Niro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
So who is the most famous person y'all ever smoked a cigar with? Other than me.
May I answer?
Yes.
It's going to be it will be Steve Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He and I we shared one,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up getting the box while he was here. But yeah, he was actually at the Pro-Am, the Regents Pro-Am over here, and stopped by with his entourage.
Uh-huh.
And the man's hilarious. He is just he's funny from the word go. He can just sit there and just be funny.
Right.
But yeah, he come in, he just worn out. He was telling us, my God, he said, I had one guy follow me from number 10 to 18, told me how my swing was. And he's sitting in the chair just doing that, man. And he's like, oh my God, am I glad I'm away from that.
Yeah.
And I said, I understand completely. But yeah, that's now I'm still looking for, that particular person in whom I can enjoy with. As a matter of fact, I was waiting on Matthew McConaughey or Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
To come in Vitola.
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
And actually, I was going to have one with him, but he never showed up.
You didn't
showed
answer
up.
your emails, your phone calls.
I just kept tweeting. After the 50th one, I said, "Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
enough."
When I was working Patton Creek, Cigars and More Patton Creek. I didn't get to smoke with D.L. Hughley, but I got the phone call that we needed a box of Padron 50s for D.L. Hughley. He wanted the Maduro. We only had the naturals in stock. And so I'm thinking D.L. Hughley's going to walk through the door. But it was Bruce, the owner of the company club, of course, that came and picked him up from him. But that was good because me and Bruce, we did some catching up because I knew Bruce from years ago. Because his beautiful daughter, God bless the dead, RIP to his beautiful daughter. I remember she was great friends with another buddy of mine. And we all got to hang out a few times. So me and Bruce got to do some catching up on that. So that was really cool. But famous people who I've had an opportunity to smoke with. Sammy Hill.
Wow.
You know, how Patton Creek got all the ex-football players.
That's right. Yeah.
Mac Dog.
Mark
It said Mark Everett. The gold medalist. Mark Everett. Who else? Who else is coming down? Dexter McClellan. Who else used to be in there? Dre Howard, NBA overseas basketball player. So all the athletes, of course, get to smoke with all the athletes all the time. But I was trying to think who was the most famous person. I guess in Atlanta, I got to smoke with I got distracted just now when I was talking because I just looked at the chat. And I seen my mother's name. And I know that can't be my mom because she passed way back in October. But I just seen Deborah Franklin. When I just looked, I was like, hold on. That's what kind of distracted me. So, hey, this one is for you, Mom. Smoking one for Mom. But I don't know if y'all ever watched Yo MTV Raps. That was like the first show that showed the rap videos on MTV. Ed Lover, the guy, was one of the hosts. I smoked with Ed before.
Did you?
Nice.
That's cool.
I smoked with Ed before.
That's neat. That's pretty cool, man. That's good stuff.
Well, I tell you, this La Roma de Cuba Monarch. I'm gonna get me a few of these. I'm telling you.
Man, I feel like I'm smoking it too fast. This thing's so good.
I know it did well on the dip. The cap didn't deteriorate. Everything went well. Great on my lips. Now I got to know what am I drinking now since it's been a mystery. I know. No. Let's see what I'm drinking here.
Don't say any of the numbers on that page.
Don't say any numbers on the page. Flor de Cana Rum, 25-year. Holy shit, snacks.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
That is some very good stuff.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Harris.
Thank you for the pairing. I greatly appreciate it.
Jeez, man.
This has been absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about Ashton. It's just
So does
good
Carson
stuff.
know his parents?
I think he does.
I know my parents.
I think you know your pairings.
Man, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
How was the dip?
The dip was wonderful. Added a nice flavor to the end of it. Kind of moistened up the cut mark on mine, which gave it a different mouth feel for a while. It's dried out since, but that's one thing I mark about a good stick is that if you dip it, which you're not dipping it and holding it, you're just barely touching it, and then you immediately take it, it shouldn't fall apart. It should be exactly the way it is. It shouldn't change the flavor over time because you're taking it all in right then. And it's perfect. This was an amazing rum. I'm telling you, absolutely amazing rum.
Cool. Good stuff. One thing about pairings, I like to step outside of the box sometimes. Because traditionally here in America, we pair majority of our cigars with whiskey.
Right.
True.
Scotch or bourbon or Irish whiskey, like my man across the room. Or Canadian whiskey. God forbid I ever drink Canadian whiskey, but
I have. You're not missing much.
So it's tried. Like people, I've had many people to say, don't pair your cigar with wine. Don't pair with wine. I pair my cigar with wine all the time.
Yeah,
I get like a nice dry red, and it pairs well, or either a tequila and Yeho tequila.
Oh yeah,
something
I'm a
like
big
that.
tequila fan, and pairings with cigars are perfect.
Yeah,
for tequila. I don't care what anybody says. I love pairing a good tequila with a
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah, I'm a
We've
lover.
been selling a lot of tequila lately. We don't have a wide selection here,
Yeah.
but it seems to be catching on.
This time of the year, tequila's good, you know, because it's not as heavy as your whiskeys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
Very
good,
hydrating.
smooth. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you're out in you're out in the sun, you're sweating, you get the agave to spike your sugar a little bit. You know?
Give me some of that tequila.
Yeah, give me some tequila. That was like a Italian accent. Tequila.
Tequila.
He tried to do half Russian and half.
We pair with Russian
Yeah.
with Russian vodka.
But I tell you what I enjoy pairing mine with is a good port.
Good port wine. Good
Yeah.
port wine. Yeah.
love
St.
good
Augustine has a
port.
really good port.
Good port wine.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I got a
yeah.
bottle at home I've had for about 10 years that I haven't opened.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to opening that sugar.
God.
And of course, coffee
Oh yeah,
for the guys who don't drink spirit and the ladies who don't drink spirit.
Right.
I had an espresso with one of these this morning.
Day.
yeah. Sometimes
Nice
I
espresso. Had a little carbonated water to the side of
Really?
it. Man,
That's interesting.
Ooh,
I
man.
gotta try that.
Yeah. So when you get your espresso, get like a sparkling water. Yeah, a little mineral water, carbonated
Yeah.
on the side with it.
Is that right? Well,
Another
that's
planet.
done. I'll give that a shot.
I
Another
know. I'm gonna have to try that one. Now.
Another planet.
Do you go back and forth with it? Do you mix them together? What do you do exactly?
What I usually do is right after the sip of espresso,
Yeah.
chase it with the carbonated water
Gotcha.
and pull the cigar.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I can't say I've ever heard that, but I love that.
I do as well.
Like
Man, that's a great
like
mix
heaven.
right there.
Yeah.
That shall be the next thing the Whiskey Tobacco Fellowship will be
Yeah.
trying out.
That's awesome right there. I like that.
Iced coffee that I had an iced coffee afterwards. I've been drinking coffee all day. Had an
I'm
iced
the same way, man. I drink it all day.
had an iced coffee with a VSG earlier.
Oh, come on. I bet that mixed well, didn't it?
Man, I walked in, the lady was like, I was like, let me get a cold brew, black. She was like, our cold brew is pretty strong. I was like, that's exactly how I want it.
That's right.
And fired it up with that VSG.
Oh man, mixes like peanut butter. Just
Man, what you say?
While we're talking pairing, anybody have an answer here for Noble 9? I'll pop it up on the screen.
Okay, you got to read that. 'Cause I
You
can't
got to
see.
blow that up
Oh,
as
so-
big as that
Sorry.
wall.
It says,
Oh,
That,
I'm stuck on
that
the
was
big
going
letter
to be
E.
my question. I am a wine and smoke, but what would be a profile to look for in the rum?
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
A profile to look for in the
The
rum.
rum itself.
One of the things I look for is the sweetness in the rum.
Right.
So
Not
when
overly banana either.
not overly banana. I agree. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree with you more. That's the thing about Jack Daniel's whiskey. You got that banana
It does,
that you
yeah.
get. Yeah.
Okay.
But not the sweetness in the rum pairs very well with the sweetness of well-aged tobacco.
I agree. 100%.
Very nice. Well
And the
said.
right stick, which Ashton makes all the right sticks.
Yes,
But
they do.
you can get some, like you try to pair a nice rum with a really deep Oscuro or something like that, and it will not hit you very well. I don't recommend it personally.
Really?
You got to
Okay.
pick just the right one.
All right.
There's only a select Maduros that will actually hit it that well.
Mhm.
You- To me, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily light dark or up down. It's whether you want something smooth versus you want something harsh.
Okay.
Mm.
And then, so if you're doing something kind of harsh,
Mm.
you want your stick to be smooth.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Speaking of smooth Maduros, glad you asked.
Need to rename the show.
glad you
Glad
asked.
It will be named.
But not to get too far away from what we're smoking. I've taken my band off. I'm approaching the final third
done.
also.
Yeah.
But the Ashton aged Maduro
Mm-hmm.
and the La Roma de Cuba,
Right?
the big brother to this Connecticut,
Yeah.
the La Roma de Cuba baseline Maduro, both of those have Connecticut broadleaf.
Mm.
If you guys
Right.
know of the Ashton aged Maduro, it's really dark, almost like an Oscuro.
Right.
But that a lot of people stray away from that cigar because it's so dark and they think it's going to be really strong.
Yeah.
But that's a smooth Maduro
Yeah.
that's just packed with flavors.
Yeah.
Just packed with just sweet cocoa espresso notes and just really, really
Yeah.
good. Really, really good. And also the La Aroma de Cuba Maduro version is also really good as well. but those two are maybe the smoothest Maduros that I've smoked on the market.
Sounds like I need to get some of those tonight. Hopefully we have them in the humidor over there.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been very surprised with as far as Ashton goes, and that is that if you it's like La Flor Dominicana or Camacho. When it comes to those particular brands, there people come in, and if you know a little bit about cigars, you're going to go to those two brands right there for strength and power and all of that comes with it. But Ashton has a very, in my opinion, this is just me though. Ashton has a very classy line. It's not made to blow your head off. It's not made for all power. It's not made for any of that. It seems to me like it's made for not only the everyday smoker, but it's made for the veteran, the connoisseur that wants to experience something different but good and rich. And it's built classy as well. It's built with quality and pride. And that's one thing I have got to give Ashton kudos with, because they have done that throughout the generation. I mean, you guys have done it right down to the nickel.
Yeah, we've created a good line of cigars that are just great across the board, easy smokes, nothing too far away from the norm. And just keeping it, like you say, classy.
Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best way to describe Ashton Cigars, as a classy smoke.
So we're not going to see a 10 by 100.
You will never. And I haven't even spoke with the creator of our sizes on cigars, but I can almost guarantee there will not be a 10 by 100 Ashton cigar. Our biggest ring gauge is in the San Cristobal. The Revelation Leviathan has a 64 ring gauge, but it's not even, it's only about like a 5-inch cigar, maybe not even that long, maybe like five and a quarter, maybe, but 64 ring gauge. That's the biggest ring gauge cigar that we have in our lineup. And even smoking that cigar, it doesn't feel like a big cigar because it's not long. The La Aroma de Cuba line, of course, the Imensa has a 60 ring gauge. The Mi Amor has a 60, but it's slightly pressed. And that little slight press that you get on the Mi Amors kind of makes the feel of the cigar a lot smaller.
You know, I found I like press more than I do circular. I mean, I like even box press, Cuban box press. There's something about them. I've had the normal and the box press of the exact same stick. I like the box press.
It's going to be different every time.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I like
just
the
something
press.
about the compression that just makes it better.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And the torpedo tip always.
Oh yeah.
If you want to sell me, you just put the cigar on the torpedo tip. I'm gonna grab it every time.
Nice.
I'm gonna grab it every time. Man. I see that torpedo tip. Yeah, let me get that.
Where are you at? Is it Cortland Kellogg? You're saying you've got an Ashton event coming up. Can you tell us where you're at?
Ashton event coming up.
The last guy here is commenting that he's got one coming up, and I was just wondering what region of the country he is in.
I don't know what part of he. Oh, he's gonna tell us. You're asking him.
I'm asking him.
Asking him to tell us. Oh, awesome. Yeah, man, tell
Carson's
us.
a good salesman, but he doesn't know everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I will throw out why we got to pay for these drinks and everything. That again, Vitola Fine Cigars brings us Smoking Underground. You can order any of the Ashton stuff we've talked about on the website there, VitolaFineCigars.com. $50 or more will ship to you for free.
That's right. 100%.
Awesome. 100%.
It looks like we're in the home of Larry the Cable Guy there.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
I lived there for the first 6 months of my life.
Is that right?
That's one of our great reps that do that area. Can't think of the name of the person. One of our great reps that does that area. All of our reps are great.
Right.
Except the guy around Alabama.
Man, I have to admit I'm biased to Alabama. I try to make sure that Alabama has good representation of the product.
Yes,
at
you do.
Every store you can walk in.
You do.
The best representation is Cigars and More. And that's not a bias just because I work for the company. But if you want to get an Ashton cigar, La Aroma de Cuba, San Cristobal, hey, Cigars and More will not let you down. They
No, they
will
won't.
have everything you need. Every line. I think you guys carry every Ashton line. VSG, ESG, Symmetry, Classic, Age Maduro, Cabinet. The Heritage is the only one that's not in Cigars and More.
Oh, how about
The
that?
Heritage.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
only one that's not in Cigars and More.
Right.
That's of the Ashton line. La Aroma de Cuba, just about every line, and
Yeah.
whatever lines we don't have here in La Aroma de Cuba Harris, we're gonna
Feel
help
free.
you to get them in the
Feel
house.
free.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Feel free. It doesn't, it's not gonna cost you much.
No, not much.
A little much, but not much.
I tell you, I'm
we
getting
can bump out that other former employee who's a rep for another company and give him some shelf space.
That's right.
Yeah, give me some shelf space. Yeah.
You
Expand
bump
it.
up with one of those.
Yeah,
former
man.
employees.
I am next to one of those former employees. I'm kind of wedged in the middle. Well, no, he never worked here.
You used to be between one and another, but
Yeah.
that we stopped carrying that line.
How about that? Okay. Wow. That's kind of neat. It's
Yeah.
kinda
We
cool,
need to be
isn't it?
landing the plane. We just crossed that 6-0.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we appreciate everybody being here
Yes,
tonight.
by all means.
Carson, my
Appreciate
friend,
Big time.
thank you.
Great.
Thank you
Big
guys
time.
for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
yeah.
me.
Big
That was a
time.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime,
Mm.
anytime,
Yeah.
anytime. If y'all ever invite me back again,
You're
Hey.
welcome.
Win. The question
You're
is win.
Yeah.
That's win.
You're welcome.
You're more than welcome
Yeah.
anytime.
Anytime.
Set up
Yeah.
here, or we can do you
Yeah.
remote from anywhere that you
Yeah.
want.
Hey.
That's right.
Yeah, we know you're busy. We know you're traveling. We know you're rolling. But anytime you come into town, you hear us doing it, especially on Thursdays.
Yep. That's
You
what we
know,
do.
That's when we do them.
Yeah.
Thursday evenings. And anytime you're in town, if you want to give John a call, please do.
We'll do
Man,
it.
Please.
and we'll
do.
smoke some Ashtons. Because that's the only cigars that I ever smoke.
Sure it is. Yeah.
You gotta experiment. You gotta experiment. Yeah.
Remember-
Hey, you got to know what the
You
competition
do
is.
That's
indeed.
right.
Yes, sir.
You got to know what
Right.
the competition is offering. And I like to always check and see what Padron is offering,
Certainly.
just to see what the
Mhm.
competition has out there.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna smoke plenty Padrones just to check in on the
Just check
competition.
in on it.
That's the
Yeah.
only reason why I smoke Padrones,
Yeah.
just to check in on the
Sure,
competition.
just make sure that God of Fire blend is not too close to the,
Yeah,
ESG
you know,
there,
yeah. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
smoke an Opus X every now and then, just to
Certainly.
be like, the
Yeah.
ESG or the Opus, just to check the competition.
check the Dominican Puros.
Yeah,
how close
gotta
they
check.
are. Yeah,
Gotta check. That's
they
all.
are.
Well,
Awesome.
remember, if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, all
Please.
the buttons, they're all down on the bottom.
Yes.
Share it with a friend. That's the biggest thing you can do to help us out. We're here every Thursday, unless we're not. And always remember to tip your waiter. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the AFGN community who
Yes.
showed up here
Thank
in
you.
force
Yes.
tonight in the chat.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you
I
go.
want to shout out some people I seen in the chat. I seen
Get 'em.
some names that I knew in the chat real fast before we get out of here. I seen Carla Hatcher in the chat. I seen Deborah Franklin. Like I said, that's my
Oh,
mom.
That's
Look at her comment. Hey, thank you, Lord, for allowing her to
There
tune
you go.
in from
That's right.
heaven. I didn't even
Nice.
know they had YouTube in heaven.
Oh, they definitely.
It's Google. It's everywhere.
Google,
everywhere.
Google is everywhere.
They weren't joking about the cloud.
Elon had something to do with that.
Elon probably has some. Dr. D, I don't think he's going to heaven.
This show is turning into something different real quick.
Dr. D, I don't know who that is, but I just want to shout you out. Dr. D, with us. Dr.
He's
D.
our only
That's what I'm
audience
talking about.
member. He is
There
right
he
here
is.
with us tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't read
Noble
that
Nine,
far.
DJ Zolfud. Appreciate you guys being around.
Man, appreciate you guys.
Thank you, three back fools.
Appreciate you guys. I have some older content. I don't do content on YouTube anymore, but I have some old content. The page is still out. It's Ashhead Cigar Junkie. AHCJ is the acronym on YouTube.
Okay.
It's just older cigar reviews.
Okay.
Yeah,
During the pandemic,
certainly.
fired up the phone. I filmed all those videos with a
Really?
phone, with a
Oh,
cell
good for
phone,
you,
with a
man.
Samsung
That's
cell
awesome.
phone, and just nothing to do.
Yeah.
During the pandemic. So hey,
Right.
turned on the camera, smoked the cigar, and started talking about the cigar.
Well, that's kind of
So-
how this got all started.
Yeah.
Was old
Right.
Pitted Prunes was like, we need to do something. It used to be called Behind the Curtain.
Uh huh.
He had me set all that up. We had a green screen. It would look terrible. but it was some good conversation.
Good Lord.
And it morphed into this when we got the amazing producer,
Big time.
John Viviani.
Yes, indeed.
Amazing producer. This is like top notch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is top. See,
Yeah.
if y'all look at some of my old
Pretty good.
content on YouTube, and it's just the outdoor light.
Right.
Yeah. I had to use Godson for the
That's right.
for the lighting. Yeah.
The ultimate
But this
thing
is
of lighting.
this is awesome. This got all the proper lighting and everything. I got makeup when I got here and all
That's right.
that and everything. Y'all, this
You know, the
is-
person who did that, they're not associated with us, so I don't know who you let touch you.
but they were great. They did my hair and everything. Hey, wardrobe,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
They put
I had to
a
get it out of my closet and get you. That's what I typically.
That's what I'm
But,
saying.
yeah. Well, you know, they offered wardrobe, makeup. They didn't offer you guys that?
Well, I have a weighted vest on that looks like a belly.
Yeah.
I actually weigh 190 pounds.
That's right.
So, but that's okay. Kudos to them.
Hey,
Yeah.
gotta stay in shape, man. Gotta stay in shape.
I'm a shape. Okay.
So you are
in shape.
you are in
You are in
shape.
shape. All right, everybody. Thank you again. Like I said, remember to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Always tune into the YouTube channel. We're also on social media. Have a good night.
Peace.
Be good.
Peace.
Remember,
Trust
You
your
got-
taste.
trust your taste.
Yeah,
You got
trust
limited
your taste.
time. Spend it well, and Ashton's a great way to spend it.
Go Ashton.